7:49, you're listening to James O'Brien on LBC. I think we'll get stuck into the high streets later, although I am keen to speak to Professor Devi Sridhar, particularly about what's the right word to use to describe developments, I think, is relatively uncontroversial. In the field of vaccines, we found Professor Sridhar to be incredibly both comforting and informative since this pandemic began, so always keen to turn to her when new developments emerge. Hopefully be doing that around about 12 noon. The other vaccine related question that merits a bit of attention, I think, is the report in one newspaper that that companies may have a legal right to insist that you get vaccinated or you don't go to work, which I'm really torn on this, because my gut reaction is that would be fine. I find the skepticism surrounding vaccines from many people dangerous and disturbing. But then you do a phone-in like this and you realise that good people have, once again, if there's a theme of this programme, the lonely furrow I plough in the British media, it's that good people can be persuaded to believe bad things, and that leads them to act against their own interests, whether it's in the ballot box or whether it's in the vaccines queue. Good people can be persuaded of bad things. So oddly, given that we weren't planning on doing much Brexit today, contempt for the conman and compassion for the conned is another area. Isn't it? Vaccines is another area in which that phrase works. Our last caller, Rachel's dad, he's not a con man, but my view is that he has been conned. How do we help him? 10:51 is the time. And how do we avoid people doubling down, which is a phenomenon we've encountered almost every day when it comes to people being shown evidence that they've been conned? They double down on it because admitting the alternative is too much to bear. Mahavir is in Hounslow. Mahavir, what would you like to say?
I'm the vice president of my local community Asian association, and I came across some people with expressing views of vaccine hesitancy.
Yes, that's a nice word.
I spent a whole evening last week interviewing people in the community who had had a vaccine and creating a video on YouTube in Gujarati, which is a language that most of my
somewhere it okay, thanks.
Is that, did you coin that phrase yourself, or is that a well-established figure of speech?
That is my own thing.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So the finger frenzy has played a big part in this. Actually, Liam's been in touch to say that he thinks a big problem in the black community is the videos telling us that they're trying to control us, and the ads. We watch a lot of anti-establishment content for good reason, and I guess there are plenty of good reasons for being sceptical of government, but this ain't one of them, and that's the challenge that you're facing, isn't it?
No, and then when you combine fear with somebody who's not educated and the finger frenzy, you get someone who is really confused.
Yes.
All those three things together. So the video, like I posted on YouTube, I think has a really important place on allowing people to hear.
Well, I hope so. Do you know if you've secured any successes? Have you had anyone?
And I work. There's a lot of vaccines if you want to hear them. So
yes, please.
basically, you raised the point that, or somebody did earlier, that we're disproportionately affected by this. So
Yes.
you obviously answered, so all the more to take it.
Yes.
Whilst that makes sense, what the issue is. What is? Well, the answer, mate. That's really okay. For a coffee at. Well, I suppose we've got to go to. Well, come and see it. Want to Las. Yeah. I used to before you arrived. I used twice or right off on those occasions that I went. It does, out of those times, Garfield, him less than 5 times. Jolly good. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'll see you soon. It's a nice view. Historically, he round the front and we go round the back. What a funny little sausage you are. But you accept that you are a funny little sausage. Yes, I know. I'll tell you.
something, but if you don't, what, you reckon 9 lives will be, I'll tell you what, here's an idea, mate. I will come to you, Richard, alright? I will be with you in 6 minutes, and then from there, we take your car, and we drive until we parking place. We're en route to sleep. Alright.
Pete Revel is the Coast Guard station officer at Bagton.
All of North Norfolk is very unstable. It's a mixture of mud and sand. You've got very unstable cliffs at the top. You've got rocks and things coming off the cliffs if you're at the bottoms.
Scientists behind the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine say they are adapting it to cope with the South African variant. The pharmaceutical firm hopes to have it ready by the autumn if it's needed. It's after South Africa suspended the rollout of the jab following a study in the country which found it only offers limited protection against mild illness caused by the mutation. 4 people, including a teenager, have been arrested on suspicion of murdering a man in Reading at the weekend. The 26-year-old was found injured in Tilehurst on Saturday evening. 2 25-year-old men, another aged 22, and a 16-year-old boy are in police custody. 2 men have been charged with painting graffiti condemning Irish Sea border checks in a Northern Ireland port town. They were arrested in Larne on Saturday evening on suspicion of criminal damage. They're due before magistrates this morning. Around 2,500 people are expected to lose their jobs after Boohoo finalised its purchase of the Dorothy Perkins, Wallace and Burton brands. The £25 million deal does not include the retailer's shops, which will close. In the city, a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was trading at 65.38. That's up 48 points. The pound buys €1.13 and $1.36. The weather feeling bitterly cold across much of the UK, with more snow showers feeding in westwards. Longer spells of snow over some eastern areas, drier and brighter further west, a high of 3 degrees. From Global's newsroom, I'm Holly Harris.
We all like our parts covered, especially when someone accidentally walks in.
Oi, I'm in here!
With British Gas Home Care, fortunately, both your parts and labour are covered, which means no unexpected repair bills. Sign up by the 15th of Feb and get a gift card worth up to £50. Gas Energy customer, get a gift card worth up to £75. Search British Gas Home Care. Conditions and exclusions apply. British Gas, here to solve.
This is LBC. With James O'Brien.
It's 4 minutes after 11. I'm going to stay with the vaccine stuff because I actually think it's important. Okay, I mean, the days when we would stay with the subject because the switchboard was groaning under the weight of people waiting to contribute are behind us now. We arrogantly presume that will be the state of affairs, whatever the subject matter may be, more or less. But I do think this is important, and therefore I will do at least another half an hour on this because I don't think we've made much progress, to be honest with you. If you are a person of colour listening to this programme and at the beginning of it you were nursing some wariness with regards to vaccines, I hope that wariness has diminished. I am not confident that it will have done. And so I'll try and find a more effective tool with which, at risk of sounding patronising, with which to help you. But of course it's my callers who are bringing evidence to the table or bringing arguments to the table. And you know, no one knows better than a boy educated by nuns and monks for his entire childhood how hard it is to argue somebody out of a position they've been argued into by a cleric, by a priest. But there's no harm in trying. 5 minutes after 11 is the time. While I would take the vaccine, says this texter, I appreciate others' worry. You're in danger of oversimplifying, negating and assigning ignorance to some legitimate concerns because it doesn't fit with your views. There are worries in Switzerland over the potential lack of take-up. German usage under 65s, and now South Africa also have concerns with the AstraZeneca vaccine, yes, but not with vaccines plural or general. And I find the testimony from South Africa, from the scientists. I'm not talking about your lived experience.
What is it?
You met, and that leads to distrust and people not even.
And it doesn't have to be an entirely rational link, does it? Because
I think there is basis that it is rational.
no, there is a reason to take a vaccine that millions of white people are